Oliver. We got two games to recap. One game was a close game against the Knicks where we lost, and then another game was where the Wizards came through in the clutch and got a W against the Lakers and spoiled LeBron James's becoming second time all time scoring, passing Karl Malone. Porzingis with a nasty dunk on LeBron. It was a tale of two games. They redeemed themselves from that Knicks game, and the Wizards have won five straight home games against the Lakers. They've ruined Russell Westbrook's homecoming as well. They did do a tribute on the Jumbotron for Russ. Denny stepped up big time. Porzingis dominated. That's what we want to see from the Unicorn. Seven guys in double figures, gutting out, down by 16. And Tomas Satoransky, stepped up in a huge way to pull out the victory against the Lakers. We're going to talk about two games, how they could have won that Lakers game. The Knicks game, and then they ended up pulling it out against the Lakers. And Porzingis dominating, playing like the unicorn, playing like he should be. Let's get to it.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts. Also, today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, so we're going to start off with the good, bad, and ugly. Let's recap this Knicks game that happened on Friday night. So basically, I'm gonna go over the Knicks game pretty quickly. We're not going to spend too much time on that one. I do want to go more in depth with the Lakers game, but the Knicks game, you can just look at the numbers. They had 60. The Knicks had 60 rebounds to our 38. We just got dominated. We got bullied. We got pushed around. Mitchell Robinson had 10 offensive rebounds. That's inexcusable to let one guy have 10 offensive rebounds. You got to have some pride there, guys. The Wizards, you got to have some more pride on the boards. It's ridiculous to allow that to happen. And Mitchell Robinson had 10 offensive rebounds and 12 rebounds overall. That's just about 1-2. It's just about grit and grind, being hungry. It's inexcusable. The Knicks only shot 34% from the field, and they still won the game as well. So that just shows how the Wizards played as well, just as effort-wise. And the Knicks shot 30% from the three-point line. So it's not like the Knicks just out-hustled us. It's just about who wanted to win that game more, and the Knicks wanted that more. Julius Randle had 18 points and 17 rebounds in that game. Yeah, he had 18 points and 17 boards. They had two guys with double-digit rebounds. That's ridiculous. When you have Porzingis on your team and Daniel Gafford, you should definitely be collecting more rebounds. And once again, it's just about 1-2 and Will and wanted it more. The Knicks just wanted it more that game. They had 36 points in the paint, which is not much. But honestly, that game, and it was a very winnable game, to be honest. Kyle Kuzma had of course, we got clutch Kuz down the stretch. He had, I want to say two or three threes down the clutch, and the clutch Kyle Kuzma did. But at one point, we were down by one with, I want to say 18, I want to say 20, it was more than 24 seconds left. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact amount that was left on the clock, but Kyle Kuzma had the hot hand. I know it was a heat check, and I know he's hit threes before when we're only down by one. I know in Cleveland and the Pistons game in Detroit, he's hit multiple clutch shots. So it's like you give him the benefit of the doubt. You give him the green light, but, just basketball IQ there, I just thought, hey, take it to the basket, man. You got the hot hand. You can force a foul on Julius Randle. Impose your will there and get to the basket. You need two instead of three, or even get to the free throw line. I didn't think he needed to, force a three right there. I know he had the hot hand and it was a pull-up three. So it wasn't the greatest of shots either. Once again, it was a heat check. But, of course, if you were in for the lottery odds, you're like, oh, yeah, Kuz, go ahead and shoot that three. But honestly, for, winning that game, which was a winnable game, he definitely should have taken the ball. Taken it to the basket there. An individual standpoint on performances, like I said, that game, we were down by double digits in the fourth quarter, but Kuz just went crazy down the stretch. Kyle Kuzma had 18 points, 4 for 9 from the three-point line. Didn't have a crazy game. Most of his points came in that fourth quarter. He was 6 for 17 from the field. Corey Kispert, once again, I thought he's shooting the ball better, 2 for 5 from the three. Porzingis wasn't as aggressive as I thought he could be. which is kind of how he's been. He was that way in the first half in the Lakers game too. He wasn't very aggressive. He's playing very finesse basketball, and kind of fading away from the basket. We want to see him go to the basket a little bit more, and kind of dominate more defensively, protecting the rim. But he had a double double in that game, 18 and 11, playing 29 minutes. Raul Neto gave some energy. Caldwell Pope he had 9 points. Rui had 11 points, 4 for 7, 2 for 2 from the 3-point line. Denny had an off night, 1 for 5. And that's the thing, growing pains with Denny. One night he'll have a good game. The Lakers game, he played so much better. Still had some low lights, missed layups, and airballing threes, missing threes off the backboard. But I'll talk about it later in the Lakers game, how he was super, super clutch. We don't win that game without Denny hitting that clutch three in the Lakers game. Daniel Gafford, 5 points once again. Had 2 quick fouls, but he just didn't play much. 5 points. He was giving up some offensive boards as well. Ish didn't play well either. 2 for 10 from the field, and Sato didn't have a great game. So it was a tale of two nights. Sato had 3 points and 5 fouls. I mean, he had more fouls than points. So that just kind of showed you. We're going to look at some of the numbers from the Lakers game and the Knicks game. Just the tale of two games there. How Sato just didn't play well. Ish didn't play well. But Ish and Sato were key players, key X factors for that Lakers win. We don't win this Lakers game that I'm going to talk about shortly without Tomas Satoransky. So, and then once again, Anthony Gill did not play and Thomas Bryant did not play as well. I don't think Thomas Bryant did not play in the Lakers game either. But once again, that game, it was just about 1-2 and the will to who wanted it more. And the Knicks just wanted him more. Evan Fournier, he hit 5 threes. That's inexcusable. You can't allow him to do that. So once again, they just wanted it more there. Manuel quickly was an X factor for that game too. 15 points. He was unstoppable from the mid range. He got to the basket and got to the free throw line a lot as well. But before we do get to this Lakers recap, which was more of a fun game, I love that we won this Lakers game, and I don't mind. See, I can get on the tangent here, but the thing about winning lottery odds and winning games, I don't mind if the young guys develop and win, especially when you see Lakers teams, their fans coming to DC. This is the game where I want to have some pride in. I don't mind winning this game at all. But before we do get into the Lakers recap, this episode is brought to you by Built Bar. Have you tried the Puffs? If you haven't tried the Puff Built Bars, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting bars. Puffs are a fan favorite with some incredible flavors: yummy cinnamon, churro, coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie. So good. These are going to be your new favorite. All Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, Puffs included, 100% real chocolate. Low calorie, high protein. Replace your candy bars with these. They are better. A typical candy bar can be anywhere from 2 to 300 calories. Go to Built.com and scroll down to the macros chart. You'll be blown away. High protein, low cal, high fiber, low carb. Most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Check out mint brownie, coconut almond, and new for this month, white chocolate cookies and cream. That's one of my favorite flavors there. They are all delicious, and new flavors are coming out all the time. If they think a flavor might be good, they'll make it. It will be delicious, and it will be good for you. At Built Bar, they are all about the taste. They make it taste delicious first, then figure out how to make it healthy. And I don't know how, but pull it off every time. Go to Built.com, use promo code LOCK15, and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at Built.com. Thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Now podcast. Nightly recaps of every NBA game with analysis from our local experts. It's free and available wherever you get podcasts. All right, so let's get into this Lakers game. Once again, another guy who really showed up, in my opinion, who had a tale of two games was Daniel Gafford. Daniel Gafford had 5 points, but you look at the numbers from this game, he had 17 points. Once again, the defense wasn't great, 127 to 119, but the Wizards had 7 guys in double figures. Also, they had 30 assists as well. And they only had 8 turnovers, so it shows ball control. Now, the Lakers, they are undermanned. They don't have Anthony Davis. They haven't had him for the rest of the season. They did have a small ball lineup where LeBron James was playing center, and they had that same lineup last week where LeBron had 50 points. So LeBron still went crazy, doing the little crazy thing, putting his fingers between his ears and hyping up the crowd. But the thing is, it was a tale of two games for the Wizards, and it was a tale of two halves. The Wizards were down by 16 at one point in the second half, and Porzingis just turned up. He dominated. He realized that he was 7'3". He imposed his will. Every time Porzingis got the ball in the high post, either Austin Reeves was on him or Westbrook was on him. There was one time where Porzingis caught the ball and just held it high on top of his head, and then he ball faked over Russell Westbrook's head or over Austin Reeves' head, and he just shot a jumper. I love the dunk that he had on LeBron James. That's how you posterize somebody. That's why we traded for Porzingis. That's why we call him the unicorn, because he's capable of doing things like that. He's capable of scoring from the high post. He's capable of, at times, being a number one scoring option. He played like an all-star last night. And that's what I want to see from Porzingis. 27 points, 9 for 17 from the field, 5 assists, 3 boards. I do want to see him rebound the ball more, but he was dominant in that fourth quarter. The first half, he was a little finesse and was fading away, wasn't really going to the basket, wasn't looking for contact. Now, that challenge call where Frank Vogel challenged and they called a hook, I thought that was a ridiculous call. I really do. I love when Porzingis is being physical. And if he's going to be called for an offensive foul, I'd rather see it that way. I want to see him being physical. I want to see him going downhill, trying to impose his will on somebody. So that's what I love from seeing from him. But honestly, once again, the Wizards don't win this game without good play from Ish Smith and Tomas Satoransky. Tomas Satoransky was 6 for 6 from the field, had 16 points and 6 assists. He had a big steal on LeBron coming down the lane that started a fast break where Ish throws a behind-the-back pass to Daniel Gafford, and Daniel Gafford finishes a dunk. Daniel Gafford was just rim running the whole game. This is why Tommy Shepard gave him that extension, because we want to see Gaff do that. When he's rim running, protecting the rim, finishing around the rim, getting boards, that's the Daniel Gafford that we want to see. 17 points and 6 boards for him, 7 for 9 from the field as well in 22 minutes. Limited minutes, but he played really well in those minutes. Rui, 10 points tonight, had a nice post up, didn't hit the three. I thought he ran the floor pretty well as well. Corey Kispert, once again, given some solid minutes, 13 points, 3 for 8 from the three-point line, and 5 for 11 from the field. I thought Corey Kispert has been very, very impressive so far since the trade deadline, to be honest with you. I think he's starting to find his stroke from the three. He's starting to get more lift on his shot, some more arc on his shot. He's really getting used to the NBA three-point line, and he's always been a really good basket cutter or moving without the basketball. That's what I love to see from Corey Kispert. But yeah, once again, a game takeaway from that is they just didn't turn the ball over. The Lakers are not a good defensive team. We know that. They haven't been a good defensive team this whole year. And they took advantage of that small ball lineup. I thought Porzingis really dominated, and Daniel Gafford was able to dominate that small ball lineup for the Los Angeles Lakers. So you could see the adjustments that they made, and they were playing zone for majority of the time. Now, the Lakers, they did start to shoot the Wizards out of the zone, but the Wizards, I thought they moved their feet well, and they got their hands in the passing lane. They did get some timely steals that created fast break opportunities and running the floor, and they moved the ball really well. There was no selfish play, especially with Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma not a selfish, so I'm not implying that, there's any selfish play with Kyle Kuzma, but other guys had to really step up. Kispert had to step up. Porzingis had to step up. Denny had to step up. Let me get to Denny real quick. So Denny had a roller coaster night, but he finished strong. The roller coaster was starting to go off the rails a little bit, but he got back on the track and hit that big three. Now, he missed an easy layup. Now, the first quarter, I really love the first quarter from Denny. I just want to talk about some individual performances here. That first quarter, I thought he had a nice take against LeBron James. He did a solid job against guarding against LeBron as well down the stretch when they needed to get some stops. He took it to the basket a couple times. He was our leading scorer, tied with Tomas, 12 points in that first half. And hit 3 threes, hit some big threes. That three down the stretch where he missed the layup. And like I keep talking about with confidence, don't hang your head down. Keep your head up, Denny. Keep playing hard. And that's what we want to see from him. He could have hung his head there and, had no confidence and airballed the three or clanked it off the backboard. He didn't shoot the ball well, 4 for 14. But that was a big three down the stretch that we really, really needed down the stretch. So that was a huge shot from him. Once again, Tomas 6 for 6 from the field and 16 points. Huge play for him. Huge play from him. Neto was kind of the odd man out down the stretch with Ish and Sato. It's a point guard by committee right now. And then Wes Unseld Jr., I do have to give some credit to him for some adjustments that they made. He went to the zone, then he got out of the zone. And then he played Daniel Gafford and Denny. I thought they provided some good defensive minutes together. And when Daniel Gafford was in, he played really well. And then to finish the game, he put Porzingis in. So I thought the substitutions were okay. Rui, once again, still didn't get 30 minutes, which I want to see him get some more minutes. And KCP, man, I got to give him some credit too. He hit a double-double. He had a big night. He played some really good ball, 18 points and 10 rebounds. That was huge from him. 3 threes, 3 for 5 from the three-point line. Thought he had some timely steals. Sometimes he still over dribbles the ball and, will just get a little out of control with it. But he made some big plays down the stretch that we really needed from him. So 18 points and 10 boards from him, 7 guys in double figures once again, like I said before. And then this was a shorter rotation as well, if you guys didn't notice. So there was 9 guys play. Anthony Gill did not play. Isaiah Todd did not play. He was on the bench, though. Jordan Shackle did not play. And Kyle Kuzma was out with right knee tendonitis. Thomas Bryant, once again, a DNP coach's decision. So, and there's a quote that I do want to talk about from Russell Westbrook, talking about Denny Avdia. I want to pull this up real quick. I saw this on Twitter earlier because Russ really he was instrumental in hyping up the young guys. Rui, he would always tell him, "Hey Rui, go shoot. Hey Denny, go shoot. We want you to shoot more." So this is from Neil Dalal, who was on the show a couple months ago. He said, this is from what Russell Westbrook told Denny after the game. This is actually during the interview that he did on NBC Sports Washington. Denny did a post-game interview. Russell Westbrook said, "I'm going to kill you if you don't play like that every game. I know what you're capable of." And that's what we want to see from Denny. We want to see him be aggressive. We don't want to see him hanging his head. We want to see him playing with confidence. Now, he does need to finish stronger. He needs to get some more lifts. So the offseason needs to get in the weight room, do some squats, deadlifts, calf raises, whatever. We want to see him finish and dunk the ball. He is 6'9", so he does need to be finishing better around the rim. But yeah, the first half, it looked a little rough. Russ got cooking, LeBron got cooking, and it looked like another Wizards game, but they made adjustments at the half. So I got to give some credit to Wes Unseld Jr. for that one. So this was a good win. This was a good confidence win. Like I said, if the young guys are developing and playing well, I don't mind seeing the Wizards win. Of course, I know lottery odds definitely can help this franchise moving forward, just getting the best player available. You watch the March Madness, you look at Paolo Macaro, you see what he's doing, AJ Griffin, guys like that, Benedict Mathurin, Johnny Davis, just to name a few guys that could definitely help this roster out. But Chet Holmgren, guys like that, Jabari Smith, those guys are probably pipe dreams. But when you see the young guys developing, Rui, Corey, and Denny, when you see them playing well and developing, then it's like, yeah, hey, I don't mind seeing this team win. Even though the play-in chances are definitely starting to get out of hand or out of the Wizards' way, winning and developing, and especially when a lot of Lakers fans are there, you want to just have some pride and see the Wizards get the dub here. So, lately we've been doing a segment where which of the 3 guys impressed, which of the 3 young guys impressed the most. Of course, we're going to do player of the game, X Factor, but which of the 3 guys, or which of the young guys, I guess we can say Daniel Gafford included, which of the young guys impressed the most between Daniel Gafford, Corey Kispert, and Rui, and Denny in the Lakers game. And this one was a tough one for me because Daniel Gafford played his butt off, 7 for 9, 17.6 boards. But I'm going to go with Denny tonight. I'm going to give him his props. I really am, because he had that big 3 in that first quarter was really good for him. But that third quarter was rough. It was. He definitely struggled finishing around the rim and missing some jumpers. But I got to give it to him for the clutch. I really do. But let's get to the player of the game and X Factor. We'll do a quick preview for the Rockets game. But before we do get into that, this episode is brought to you by Bet Online. It's that time of year again as college basketball's tournament is finally upon us. From all the latest odds, contests, and player props, BetOnline.net is the #1 source for all your sports betting needs and info. BetOnline remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. It's not just basketball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, so let's get into X Factor and player of the game here, and then a quick recap here on the Lakers game. Or, the quick player of the game, and then we're going to do, I meant to say, a preview for the Rockets game on Monday night. So player of the game for me was Porzingis, man. When he plays like that, that's what I expect from him. That's what I expect from him. That's what I want to see from him. I know a lot of fans are saying they want to see him get more aggressive in the post and body people. That's just not his game. He has more of a fadeaway game or a shoot over you type of game, more of a finesse game. That's just the kind of game that Porzingis has. So I'm not expecting him to be like Shaquille O'Neal and back people down or, push guys out the way. That's just not how he plays. But he is capable of doing that. So we do want to see that more. But when he does get that mismatch, when there's a switch in the post or he gets the ball in the high post, do a pump fake and go or sweep through and go or, face him up and shoot that jumper. There's just so many things that Porzingis can do. There's so many things that he's capable. That's why they call him the unicorn. He's just capable of doing. He can shoot the three. He can put the ball on the floor. He can pick and roll. He can pick and pop. He can dunk on you and all that. So that's what I loved seeing from Porzingis. It's great. LeBron, he had 38 points, so he was very close to getting 50 again. Russell Westbrook had 20 points and 10 rebounds, 8 assists. But once again, my player of the game was definitely Kristaps Porzingis stepping up without Kyle Kuzma. X factor for me, man, Ish and Saddle, man. Ish provided some huge energy off the bench, starting some fast breaks and getting guys open. Tomas and Porzingis, they had a really nice pick and roll, pick and pop going. They did play together before overseas, and Tomas, man, he had 6 assists. He did a good job really initiating the offense, getting Porzingis involved. I really love what they did with the pick and roll and the pick and pop. Saddle was just a Swiss Army knife defensively. And when we did sign Saddle, I was like, I didn't really like. I thought it was a meh move. It doesn't really move the needle. It kind of takes away minutes from the young guys. I was like, it was kind of an unnecessary signing. And Saddle, he hasn't played great. He didn't play great against the Knicks, where I told you he had more fouls than points. So it's kind of been a roller coaster with him too. It's kind of been a roller coaster with Ish as well. Ish was 2 for 10 against the Knicks, but I thought these guys really stepped up and took advantage of their opportunities last night against the Lakers, and they stepped up big. That behind the back pass from Ish to Daniel Gafford, a couple alley oops to Daniel Gafford. Ish and Daniel Gafford, they have a great chemistry, and then Tomas Satoransky and Porzingis, they have a really great chemistry. So if they got X factors, I would definitely give it to them. Denny, man, he was a good X factor for me as well. Daniel Gafford. There's just multiple guys. I thought this was a team effort and a team win. They really moved the ball. It's very unselfish play. And that's what I want to see from these guys for the last 15-something games. I want to see them play unselfishly and move the ball and push the pace. So, but if I had to go to one guy for the X factor, I would go with Tomas. 6 for 6, 16 points, 2 for 2 from the three-point line, hit a buzzer beater 3 as well. I thought Tomas was incredible and played really well for the role that he has for the Washington Wizards. Now, let's get into a preview for the Rockets. They are a team that you can't sleep on. We did lose to them. Kevin Porter Jr. hitting that game winner. They got some good young talent. They got Jalen as well. So they have some really good talent. I want to pull up their last game. Now, I did pull up some stats from a team standpoint. They are not good defensively at all. Right now, they're ranked 30th in points per game allowed, 118 points allowed per game. The Wizards are ranked 18th, so they're not too great either. Giving up 111 points per game. Then you look at the Houston Rockets, field goal percentage allowed per game is 48%, and the Wizards are 17th in the NBA, giving up 46%. So this could be a very high-scoring game. This could be another game where it gets to 120. The Wizards do not play good defense at all. You look at the last 5 out of the last 6 games, the Wizards have given up 120 points or more. So I see another high-scoring game in DC against the Houston Rockets. And this one's it's actually in Houston because we did lose the one at home. But you look at Houston's last game, they got blown out by the Grizzlies, 122-98. They're 17-54, so they're definitely going to get a top 5 pick for sure. But Christian Wood is a guy to watch out, and of course Garrison Matthews, a former Wizard who can shoot the lights out. Jalen Green could get buckets as well. And they're an athletic team. Bruno Fernando, who went to Maryland, he's been getting good minutes for the Rockets as well. He's been playing really well. They got Dennis Schroeder as well at the trade deadline, Josh Christopher. They're an athletic team. They're a young, hungry, athletic team that can get out there and line. So for my keys to victory, I would try to just get the ball to Porzingis. I don't see somebody out there that can really match up with him. Christian Wood is their starting 5. I think this should be a game where Porzingis should be able to dominate once again, push the pace. Rui, get the shots up, be aggressive. I want to see him be aggressive. I want to see Denny get aggressive again. Once again, I want to see the young guys play well. Corey Kispert knock down some threes as well. But I would like to push the pace. Let's run. Let's get out there and defend, get our hands in the passing lane. Let's try to force some turnovers. Let's try to impose our will. Let's dictate this game. Usually we sit back, but I would like to be aggressive and try to force some turnovers here on the Houston Rockets. They're an athletic team, so let's finish around the rim. Let's try to use some pump fakes on them because they like to jump. You know, Jalen Green is very athletic. Kevin Porter Jr. is very athletic, and they're young. So let's try to use some pump fakes near the rim. Denny use some pump fakes and then go into their body and finish. I want to see Denny try to do that. So those are my keys to victory: defend the 3-point line as well. Rebound. Let's impose our will. We haven't been rebounding the ball well either. So let's try to, push some guys around and bully some guys and rebound the ball. But all right, you guys, just want to thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys subscribe to Locked On Wizards. Thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On NBA. Locked On experts covering the biggest stories around the NBA every Monday through Friday in less than 30 minutes. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. All right, guys, we're almost at 2,000 subscribers. Make sure you guys subscribe to us on YouTube and hit the notification bell. We are doing a mailbag on Tuesday and Wednesday. So still submit your questions down below in the comment section and on Twitter as well. All right, you guys, hail to the Wizards.